I was in Tucson, Arizona, singing at a little Baptist church. Got a telephone call from Elvis. He traced me down through calling my wife at home and finding out where I was at. He traced me down and wanted me and the Stamped Quartet to come to Denver to sing at a funeral. And, of course, we had dates every night, so he said, my Jetstar is on the way to pick you up. There wasn't any question of whether I was going or not. The plane was already on the way. So at that time, I had a boy singing bass by the name of Larry Strickland. So I left Larry with the bus to drive it to the next date over in New Mexico. The Stamped Quartet got on the plane. We went to Denver. We sang at the funeral. After the funeral was over, of course, Elvis came to the funeral dressed as a policeman. He had a police uniform on. He and Linda came to the funeral, and Elvis was supposedly a policeman. After the funeral was over, Elvis said, I want you to stay with me. Well, when he wanted you to do something, you did it. I stayed with him. And the quartet was sent back to finish filling the dates that needed to be done on that tour. I waited in my room, as you always did, for to see what Elvis, what he wanted, or if he wanted anything, or whatever. I just waited in the room until I was almost starving to death, so I decided I was going down to the coffee shop and have supper. I went down and had supper, eat as fast as I could, come back up, and as I was approaching my room, I heard a telephone ringing. I run, unlocked the door, and sure enough, it was my phone ringing, and it was Elvis. Elvis said, let's go and eat. I said, well, it just so happens I have just come from the coffee shop, Elvis. I have just eaten. He said, I don't care what you've done. I said, let's go and eat. I said, I had no idea I was that hungry. But,
still hungry.
I am starving to death. Let's go. We went to a restaurant, which I can't name the restaurant, in Denver. Of course, the limousine was ready when we got downstairs. And we went to a restaurant to eat. He also had on a police uniform. We went out and eat, and while we were eating, of course, he took his cap off at the table, because that's the way he was raised. And what I ordered was lobster and steak, because there wasn't that much lobster and steak to what I could get it down some way without it looking bad. So, but what Elvis ordered was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it cost $18. And while we were eating, a man came over to Elvis and said, pardon me, sir, but you can settle an argument between the wife and I. Said, are you him? Now, who was him? He didn't say, are you Elvis? He said, are you him? Elvis said, no. And he said, well, you certainly look like him. Elvis said, well, I've been told that a lot of times. That was the only way that he was bothered during the meal. We got through and came on home after this stay in Denver. Of course, during this stay, Elvis was in a giving away Cadillac mood, is what I call it. He had given away Cadillacs to the police department, to different policemen in Denver. And we were watching the news in his suite, and the little guy that was the anchor man for the news said, well, our friend Elvis is still at it. He has now given away a total of 12 Cadillacs. And he said, by the way, Elvis, when you get mine, I want a black sedan Seville. And Elvis said, give me the phone. And I said, my my God, what's the man going to do? So he called the Cadillac man and said, I want a black sedan Seville at the TV station by the time this guy gets off the air. The Cadillac man got the Cadillac to the TV station. When he came off the air, they had the cameras and all ready. They took him on the outside, and the Cadillac was there waiting for him, the one that he had asked for just a few minutes before. Well, what was Elvis Presley doing? He was producing his own television show from the hotel. And I was sitting there saying, my God, why in the name of God don't he give me that Cadillac? Because I was driving a Pinto at the time. But that's the way that he enjoyed life. But we came on home. Elvis, apparently when he was a young boy, well, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches was his favorite. So he woke up one afternoon and at Graceland, and he wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at this restaurant. He called his pilot, Milo, and got the crew together, got on the Lisa Marie, the big airplane, flew to Denver. I know personally I seen the receipt for the fuel. It cost $8,000 to fly the Lisa Marie from Memphis to Denver. He got on the plane, flew to Denver, got him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and flew back to Graceland. That peanut butter and jelly sandwich cost him $16,018. And I would have personally made him an armload and walked him over to Memphis from Nashville here for $100.